just like that, we are back on our way to the gym for another workout. Today, leg day, and not a quad focused or hamstring focused. We're talking the whole shebang. Now, I may not necessarily go crazy on my hams. They are still very much demolished from the last hamstring focus day. I was laying in bed this morning when I woke up. I could feel them cramping a little bit. So, not too insane on the hams. It will definitely be more of a quad focused, but we'll see exactly what that looks like when we get to the gym, because it always depends on my knees, which I think I figured out a good warm up that works for me. I always try to warm them up, and depending on the day, I'll either like do the warm up exercises and be fine and be able to lift heavy, or the entire time I'm just hyper aware of how sensitive my knees are. I'm not able to go very heavy. I'm having to go way wider, and it still feels bad on my knees. And then I end up just being like, okay, let's not do this exercise. Let's not do that exercise, and it becomes a quad day that ends up being way more tame and just not going for as long or as hard as I would have wanted to, because it's like, okay, well, I don't feel safe doing a squat today. I don't feel safe doing a leg extension today. I don't feel safe doing a leg press today. And then, so whatever knee flexion movement I get in for the quads before it's like, okay, I don't feel safe doing this, it's kind of all I end up getting. So it's like, okay, whatever sets of leg press I hit before I was like, holy crap, actually, I don't want to do this. It's bothering my knee. That's all I get. And then it's time for like ab and adductor movements just to kind of finish hitting the quads and be done without hurting my knees at all. That being said, I'm very hopeful for today. My knees kind of feel loose, if that makes any sense. They feel sensitive, but they don't hurt. Like, I feel like with my leg sleeves on, I will be just fine, and I will be able to get a good workout in. I feel like I will be able to maybe do some Tom Platt style I'm trying to figure out what it's called. Hack squat machine sissy squats instead of doing body weight. When we were doing that last quad focus leg day and I did the body weight ones, I came over and started talking to the buddy I was working out with, and he's like, well, have you ever done the sissy squats on the hack squat machine? I was like, I have. And back then, my knees were not great, but not as bad as they are now. And I told him, I was like, I'd hit it, and it seemed like it didn't bother my knees that badly to do, so I would do them. It was like one of the only variations of a squat or a hack squat I could do comfortably. But I told him now that my knees are much worse, I've been terrified to do it. That seems like such a compromising position, if you know what it is. If not, you'll see. But, you're kind of leaning, you're kind of intentionally placing your feet a bit higher, and then when you're coming down, your knees are coming super far over your toes, and you're getting this great stretch on your quads. But as someone with knee issues, that felt like it was going to be a very compromising position to be in. I was going to shoot my kneecap off or something. But I tried a few reps of it off camera, just like before I left, while sitting there talking to him. And it felt good. I also just did the machine itself, no weight on it. So maybe today we'll work our way up to 210s or 25. Just depends on how it feels. Or maybe I'll just rep out body weight with the machine and just get a quad pump as a finisher. Well, we'll see. I have intentions of hopefully maybe not squatting today outside of those, but reg press and extensions and all of that. So, as always, it's based on how my knees feel in the moment, but I don't think, I know my body pretty well, especially when it comes to how my knees feel before a workout. I don't think it will be a bad situation. I think I'll be able to get a good workout in, but we'll find out. I know for a fact I am the Lone Ranger today for legs, so it's a Lone Ranger leg day, which isn't surprising. If there's any day my best friend will skip, it's leg day. My gym partner will almost always, without fault, skip leg day. That being said, I don't take it easy on leg day, so I probably should have, because I was working out young before he started working out. He started training with me, and I was pretty good about okay, this many reps, this many sets, kind of easing him in. But when it came to legs, I just was like, follow my lead, killed him. So I do not blame him for kind of being like, I'll come in every other leg day. But also, he's watched me have my knee issues and everything else. And so I think he thinks if he trains legs like me, his legs are going to start falling off. That he's going to start having knee issues like I do. But I've tried to explain it to him a million times. My knee issues did not spark from weight training or any particular leg day. I was training them, as often as I do now, if not more. I was pushing heavy weights. I have a video of me doing 980 pounds on the leg press. I never maxed out my squats, but my working set for 10 to 12 was 315. But now, I put 135 on the Smith machine, which I guess technically is a 135 because it's Smith machine. And because of my knees, it's that's the most I can do. Because it's just too uncomfortable to put more weight on. So if I ever do squats anymore, they are a finisher. With lightweight, aim for 15 to 20, just really pump up the quads. But what happened with my knees was one winter, my dad's health had started going downhill, so it was our job, it was my job to help feed his cows during the winter. And sometimes my brothers would come over and help, and most of the times they wouldn't. And especially at the time, I think I was at my lowest of 180. And I'm not very tall, so I don't have much leverage or anything on a round bale, which is several 100 pounds of hay. And we do 2 per property, and we have 4 properties. So I'm loading 8 round bales alone, no tractor. So I'm pushing it to the ramp of this trailer, and then up the ramp of the trailer and onto the trailer. Well, you get worn out. Sometimes the hay bale isn't the best starting position, so you don't have very good leverage or momentum to build up to get it onto the ramp. And so what would happen is I would brace my, which knee was the bad knee? Because now they're both bad. I'd brace my left knee under the hay bale to keep from losing my progress. Can we drive, guys? I'd like to go work out. Come on. But, I'd wedge my knee under there and try to keep it where it was on the ramp and give myself a slight break because I didn't want to lose where I was and then finish pushing on the trailer. And over time, that winter, this knee started to bother me. It started to bother me more and more and more. And then by the time it was summer and I didn't have to do it anymore, this knee was demolished. I had, I went and got checked out. They told me it had tricompartmental osteoarthritis in it. So it has no cartilage left in it. So it pops all the time, it aches all the time, it hurts all the time. And so I sat there and I started doing therapy work every day that I went to the gym. I'm doing an hour of cardio just, to keep my legs warm. I'm doing single leg extensions with just 10 pounds. I'd have to assist because my knee was so weak I couldn't even do 10 pounds of single leg extensions. And, I eventually worked this knee back and reverse sweat pulls and all that. And I eventually worked this knee back up to being pretty healthy. But I'd work leg days, I'd have to do like single leg work, or if I did do leg press, I think I wasn't really thinking about it at the time. This good knee, the right one, the right leg, would have to take on more of the weight. So this one would be comfortable, but I don't think I was catching it. There was definitely times I'd come down and go, "Ooh, I'm not balancing this very well. I'm like putting more weight on this side." But a lot of the times I didn't catch it, and then eventually this knee started to bother me. I was like, "Oh crap, I I screwed up somewhere." But is what it is. I'm trying to get them back to health. Most of the time, because I do 45 minutes to an hour cardio a day, it seems like that has helped immensely. I regularly keep my legs active and try to keep them healthy and try to use them and keep them going. Keep my knees loose. I try to keep them healthy. I do occasionally, not as much as I used to, do therapy ish stuff with it. Today, that's what I'm going to start with. I don't know if I'll film it or not. I might film it. It may not end up in the video, but I'm going to do some of that just to warm up my knees. But most days, my knees have been good enough for like months now to hit a pretty decent leg day comfortably. There's only been a few where mid workout, and one of them was, I think, the first one I did for the channel, where you guys don't see it because to you guys it's just I hit one leg press, got a phone call, someone asked if they could use the leg press. I was like, that's fine, I'll switch leg presses, and I only did 2 sets on the other one. That wasn't because I was looking to do 4 sets of leg presses. And I got done that second set. I was like, my knee can't do this, which means I can't squat today, and I probably shouldn't hit the leg extension machine. So I went to the adductor machine and hit that instead. But it's neither here or there. That was 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've been fine for leg workouts every time since then. So I'm going to count on today being the same, and we're going to get a good leg pump. I'll see you at the gym. I tried to find a tripod yesterday for my phone, but to no avail. So we will just continue to do things the way we've always done them, with the magnet phone holder for now, the phone mount, and just sticking it on other gym equipment. So this right here is what I've been doing to warm up my knees, and it's been working. Doesn't look like much, but it helps. So kind of just a little half extensions, little half kicks, kind of see where my knees are. Ooh, yeah, this one needs it. Yeah, that knee does not feel great today. Little both leg action. Ooh, there we go. They're starting to feel loose. All right. That's probably as good as they're gonna feel today. I'm gonna actually set this back for later. We got the gym to ourselves, so we'll see how that lasts. But set that for later. Let's press something. When I say I have a video of me doing 980 pounds on this leg press, these right here were how that was achieved. I don't know if you can see how thick this is. This is a 100-pound plate. I might bring the other one up to the camera here in a second. But these 100-pound plates are why I was able to do that, because this is not a very long weight bar. So we have 4 of these total. These 100-pound weights. The other 2 are over there. Oh, we got the big boys. Hundo. But these big behemoths, we got 4 of them, so that's 400 pounds alone. Then if you just max out to the end of the bar with 45s, I want to say this weight press holds 980. I'd have to look at the video and double check. But I do believe that's what it held that day. But we may never, probably will never, work our way back up to that. But start off with 200, I guess 245, depending on what this thing actually weighs, the sled. But something like, will we truly see how the knees are feeling now? I'll say the warm up on the 10 minutes of cardio and then the warm up on the extension machine are a good way to get a general idea of if they're going to feel decent enough for the workout. But this is always the true test, is loading up some weight and pressing. Oh yeah. Let's roll some actual weight on here. Ooh. Okay, the only bad thing about how my knees are is it's a guessing game on how much weight to actually do. So I only put another 45 on each side, so in theory that's 335, assuming this is actually a 45-pound sled. That is just one of the many things that the gym owner here peddles that I don't necessarily think he has any actual idea. He just says it. I might actually, between sets, look up this exact leg press and see what it says the sled weighs, because it doesn't say anywhere on the actual leg press. But 335 in theory, and we'll go from there. Ooh. Oh yeah. We're going to go ahead and take a gamble here. Still not feeling too bad. So in theory, this would be 425. See how that goes. I looked up this exact leg press. I couldn't find anything on it. So I had to wait, so we'll just go with, at the bare minimum, 405. But if it's a 45 pound sled, it's 425 on here right now. Sometimes I can do some pretty heavy calf raises on here, but I think today it's going to be one of those days. Well, I know what I'll do. I'll take a 45 off and we'll do 335 pound calf raises on here. Ooh. Sometimes I prefer that over seated. Oh. Oh. One more of those.
All right, let's move on. Not sure how these will feel. Plus, this machine just got fixed.
And just like that, a leg day is complete. Now, I will say, after the 2 sets of extensions till failure, I did attempt the hack squat, sissy squats, just like body weight plus obviously the sled on my shoulders. But my knees were not feeling great, so I ended up deleting the footage and only doing 1 set. But it was 1 set till failure, but my knees were just feeling very iffy, so I just went ahead and deleted it. But just a heads up, there was a set of sissy squats till failure, and then 10 minutes of cardio to help kind of finish burning out my legs. So I started with 10 minutes on the stationary bike, and I ended with 10 minutes on the stationary bike. So I wouldn't say that was anything too crazy. Obviously, for hams, I said I wasn't doing much, and all I did was 3 or 4 sets of hamstring curls, and the last one was a drop set, and that was that for the hamstrings. Quads got to have leg press, extensions, I want to say adductor, is it ab? And 1 to 2. And then some squats, some sissy squats. So, not a terrible, and then calf raises, some fairly heavy calf raises. On that last set of calf raises, my shoe kind of started getting loose, so that's what was happening there with me moving my footing was my shoe was like trying to come off on me. So that's what was happening there if you're watching the video and you see me readjusting my foot all of a sudden very aggressively. I was trying not to lose my shoe and end up breaking an ankle doing heavy calf raises. But that's that. Not a insane leg workout, but not a very chillax. Nothing happened one either. Tried to go as heavy as I could without bothering my knees too much. I feel like I achieved that. Definitely got a good leg pump. I actually have a really good pump here on the outer side, on the teardrop of my leg. So I am happy with that. Now, I actually ate my last meal for the day pre-workout, so nothing to eat post-workout tonight. But if you've ever tried the quote-unquote protein queso recipe, what I did today is I took some lean center cut pork loin and I diced it up into cubes. And I seasoned it with taco seasoning, garlic, salt, paprika, and pepper. And I cooked it down in a cooking spray in a cast iron skillet. Once it was done, took 2 servings of low-fat cottage cheese and reduced fat cheddar. Blended those together with a few tablespoons of water, which is all the protein queso recipes online are. Put a taco seasoning in that. Once the pork was done cooking, I let it simmer in the protein queso. Got out 2 carb-balanced tortillas. Put the meat inside the tortilla. Got out a different pan, hit it with a cooking spray, and cooked them shut. And had those for my pre-workout meal. For breakfast, I had 2 servings of low-fat Greek yogurt. So about 240 calories, or I guess that was more lunch. Breakfast was super early this morning. I've been up since 4 a.m. Helped my mom do a few things and go pick up her car that's been getting worked on. So at about 8 a.m., I bought those turkey bites. You got the orange bag. They're about yay big, turkey bites. And bought that and a protein bar this morning. So I believe I've had 186 grams of protein today, 1,791 calories. I think my carbs landed right about 56. I'd have to double check. And my fats, I'd have to look. But not a horrible day. I am very full, very satiated, so I don't think I'm going to end up wanting to eat something in the middle of the night and end up going over on my calories. But I think I'm going to grab myself a Diet Dr. Pepper and go home and relax, let my legs kind of recover a little bit, take a shower, and see you guys tomorrow for back day. And actually, I'm thinking it's time to switch back to how I was training before. So tomorrow might actually be back and bi day. So I might go back to my back bi, chest try, forearms and shoulders, and then leg day. And then legs will keep the same split of a hamstring focus, a quad focused, a hamstring focused, a full. So today was full. Next leg day would be a hamstring focused again. So, but enough about that. I will see you guys tomorrow for a back and bi workout like no other.